Today I'm going to be taking a look at the team that helped me climb to 3,072 ELO, about 20 points short of the leaderboard at that time. In the Love Cup, it was with an 8-2 run, or technically a 9-2 run because I played one battle in a different set. And it's with some fairly spicy or at least off meta picks. On the lead, I'm going to be running Solrock. Now, Solrock's rated very highly in this cup, but not a lot of people are running it because, well, it's Solrock and its cheap charge move is Rock Slide, which is not a great charge move, but it is stab and there's a lot of fire types out there. So it really does come in clutch more often than not. As my closer, I'm running Scrafty. This thing absolutely hard counters all the normal types, the Lickilickies and the Miltanks that you see on the Safeswap every single battle. This thing just eats them for breakfast, and I am running Thunder Punch and Foul Play, so after you farm them down, you have energy to be able to hit whatever their lead was pretty hard as well. As my Safeswap, I am running Hisuian Electrode. This thing's a beast on the Safeswap. Its pacing is just absolutely nuts. It has Swift now as a bait move, which really does come in clutch because of a lot of times the wild charge just doesn't quite take out. So you're able to get that Swift to either pull a shield or to take them out. And it's a great bait move as well in case you want to bait a shield off before you go for that wild charge. Let's go ahead and get into some of these battles. I will say this is going to be one of the more educational videos that I put out. There was a lot of hard counter or at least bad lead teams, and I'm going to show y'all how I overcame those. So let's get into it. All right. In the first one, Solrock up against an Alomomola. I didn't see a ton of water types, but when I did see them, it seemed like they were on the lead, or there was two of them in the back. So Alomomola on the lead. We're going to come in with, of course, the Hisuian Electrode. And now notice, I build up to 100 energy before I throw this Wild Charge. There's two reasons for that. Number one, of course, Wild Charge is going to drop my defense, and I want to be able to get to additional attacks beforehand. But I wouldn't have gone quite to 100 if this Wigglytuff was already at a move. They were getting to their Swift as I threw that first Wild Charge. So I knew I wasn't going to have to use the shield before I pulled one of their shields, as long as they were trying to throw at good timing. And it allowed me to grab both shields right there. And now I'm just going to farm down with Solrock, potentially be in a position to land a Solar Beam on this Alomomola end game. However, I'm going to come in with Scrafty, and they're going to be staying in for a while before coming in with their Medicham. Now, Scrafty does have Foul Play. Foul Play will be hitting for neutral thanks to Medicham's Psychic typing. And they're running Psycho Cut as their fast move, which is the more common fast move on Medicham in this cup. But that means that I don't really have to worry about any kind of fast move pressure. I just have to shield up these dynamic punches, and I do still have two shields. So I'm going to go for this next Foul Play right here. This one will be putting them, actually it takes out the Medicham. So I can make the Thunder Punch here, and I have the Rock Slide ready to go. My opponent knows it's over, and they don't want to get Solar Beamed, so they top left. So GG's, well played. All right, in the next one, up against a Hisuian Slowbro. This is one of the leads that I was most worried about whenever I was building this team, but I knew that Solrock's going to be resisting the poison jabs. Yeah, we take super effective from Brutal Swing and Surf, but they're non-stab moves. They're not going to one-shot. They're not going to put us in farm down range. And then we have Scrafty with Foul Play, so after I inevitably farm down a Lickilicky, I'm going to be able to threaten shields or hit them very hard with the Foul Play. And Hisuian Electrode, yeah, it takes super effective from the poison jabs, but Wild Charge just hits so hard that they're not going to want to take one of those either. So maybe it's a bit of a team effort. Solrock has the positive matchups, the back two do not. But I think it's a very playable Pokemon, or you're very easily to play around it with this team. So now they come in with the Hisuian Slowbro. I'm actually going to bait here with the Thunder Punch because my plan is to pivot back out, knowing I have this Rock Slide bank. And this will either pull their second shield or it'll put them into Thundershock downrange if I really need to end game. They're going to actually eat it and stay in, which is just a dream to me. I want to make sure I get as much Psywave damage as possible so I'm not having to take any extra poison jabs on my Electrode. Now, I could have thrown the Rock Slide there on CMP. I'd slightly lost count, so I do decide to go ahead and let my Solrock go. In the back, going to be an Ariados. Honestly, my Hisuian Electrode didn't have a ton of play into this team, but it's a beast, man. Like, don't underestimate it. Don't ever count it out. I'm going to be able to land that Wild Charge there, and you might think, oh, you should swap, clear that defense drop. Well, the Poison Stinks aren't doing that much, And if I swap and give them Poison Sting down on my Scrafty and give them all that energy, then I lose the game. Instead, I'm going to be able to Thunder Shock them down into counter range, come in on my Scrafty, and win the game that way. So that's going to be GG's, well played. All right, into the next one, up against a Miltank lead. I think the normal types are pretty decent leads because they can't throw Body Slam into Solrock. Body Slam is resisted. They're forced to go for their more expensive charge moves. So I feel like this is a very safe shield right here, going to shield up the Thunderbolt. And then they come out with a Lickilicky, and I'm just like, whoa, did not expect that. I'm going to farm up extra energy, knowing that my Scrafty is just a hard wall for this. So I have back-to-back Rock Slides or a Solar Beam in case the Water type comes in game. And we're just going to absorb these Body Slams like they're nothing. Like, Scrafty's bulky, and my Scrafty's not even good. I actually have a better one I could build, but it hasn't been meta in so long, I didn't really feel like investing the dust, so is what it is. I did throw at bad timing there. I was thinking that the Lickilicky was on its 2 cycle, because it does get to a 2 cycle. I believe it has 3 cycles. It needs 3 rollouts for the first 3 Body Slams, and then the 4th one comes after 2 rollouts. I miscounted. It was on a 3 cycle still, but that's perfectly fine. We see a Dredagon in the back, which is a really cool pick. I haven't seen a ton of Dredagon, and I think it does have a good role in this meta. But since I had all that energy on my Solrock, I'm able to pull the first shield with the Foul Play. I'm able to get the second shield with a Rock Slide. I'm able to connect with the next Rock Slide. My camera wants to freeze on me. And I'm even able to get to one more Rock Slide here on the Miltank. Sorry, I get distracted when my camera freezes. Anyways, Miltank's still here. It could be double nuke, so I play it as if it is. I go for the catch, knowing that they have to throw energy in my Scrafty regardless, and it is going to be the Ice Beam. So at that point, Electrode can just double up, and my opponent knows it's over. So GG's, well played. All right, Ariados lead. This was actually the most common lead that I saw with this team, and it's not one that I really ran the Sims for. Like, I know Scrafty's going to have a bad matchup. Hisuian Electrode's not going to have a great matchup. I figured Solrock would be a good matchup, because I figured we're going to be resisting the Poison Stings, of course. And I thought in the 2s we could just Psywave all the way down, but you're going to see that's just not the case. After they start debuffing Solrock, the Psywaves just aren't doing enough to completely farm down. Now, I'm sure we could tank 1 lunge, but it would put the Solrock very low. And I think a Fire type pairs well with the Ariados, so I was cautious of there being a Fire, like a Talonflame, in the back, and I wanted to keep Solrock healthy. So I'm actually going to catch this lunge. Yeah, it's super effective, but I know it's not going to one-shot. I know I'm still going to be able to Wild Charge something. Now, it's a debuffed Wild Charge, and I actually should have done 1 more Thunder Shock if I did, I guess, 5 Thunder Shocks once the Metacham came in. I could have played towards the CMP on Ice Punch, but you're going to see they're actually not running Ice Punch. They're running Dynamic Punch, and I would assume Psychic. It could be Pup, Power Up Punch, but it's going to be Psychic. I'm going to come back in with my Solrock. Of course, Scrafty does not want to eat a Dynamic Punch since it does hit for super effective damage. And I'm just going to settle for this Rock Slide, realizing I'm probably not making the Solar Beam, and Rock Slide is going to put them into farm down range eventually. I hard swap out looking for the counter down, and they actually hard swap as well into Lickilicky. There's one on every team, right? Scrafty is going to have a good matchup eventually. You just have to wait for it. And that's why Scrafty's like really the MVP of this team, because of, if you didn't see it in the lead, it's somewhere in the back. Oh, I get a Hyper Beam. That's right. Yes. Yes. I was farming up and I was like, wait, they're at 7 rollouts. That could be Hyper Beam. I better throw this energy. And it actually was. It actually was. Anyways, Metacham's all that's left. We just Psywave that down, and that's going to be GG's. Well played. All right, into the next one. Solrock up against a Lickilicky. So here we do see the Lickilicky on the lead. It's just like the Miltank. They have to throw the Shadow Ball or the Earthquake. Most are running Shadow Ball. And so I'm going to go for the catch on this one. Eventually, I want Scrafty aligned on this, right? So we might as well pivot out and see if we can't get Scrafty there in game. Now, they throw after 3 rollouts here. That's going to be 1 shy of the next Shadow Ball. I know this is only a Body Slam, and I'm expecting them to swap out, maybe into like a Hisuian Slowbro or something. So I overfarm a little bit here. It's a bit of a misplay because like I took that second rollout after my defense had dropped. Maybe I could have got a Swift off if I didn't, but regardless, We get them very low. We can come in with Solrock knowing they're only going to reach a Body Slam, Side Wave down, and leave with a ton of energy. Here comes in an Aloma Mola. Do they know about the Solar Beam? And yeah, unfortunately they do. Like, honestly, if I was in their position, I wouldn't have thought that Solrock had made it all the way to a Solar Beam, but I guess they didn't want to be embarrassed and end up on YouTube. That's fair. That's fair. In the back, going to be a Clefable, and I'm just like, oh, now I'm hard countered. This isn't great. I'm going to go ahead and let this come through. 2 Thunder Punches looked like it was going to be enough to take out the Clefable, but the Fairy Winds are double super effective, so it was kind of shredding through me anyways. They were going to pull both shields there, and then I don't think I was going to be able to make it through the Alomomola, so instead I'm looking for the Side Wave down, maybe be able to Rock Slide bait and still make the Solar Beam, but my opponent is too smart for that. They're going to pivot out, come in with their Alomomola, and all I get is one move, going for the Solar Beam, number 2, and of course it gets shorted. So that's going to be GG's. Well played to my opponent. Don't say I don't go for it though. I go for it. Mostly. Anyways. Shadow Scizor lead. I saw this. I'm like, oh, that's absolutely horrible for Solrock, right? We're taking super effective damage from the bullet punches, super effective from the Night Slashes. I come in with Electrode and I have to respect the X Scissors. This is very bad for my team. I'm going to go ahead and bait with the Swift. We do properly pull the shield, and I'm able to CMP. Now, they showed Night Slash. I'm not expecting them to throw the X Scissor this time. And I have this Wild Charge locked in. Do they invest their second shield? No, they don't. So I'm going to be able to take out their Scizor. It seems like they don't like my Electrode, so I am going to actually pivot back into my Solrock. And they come in with an Alomomola. So we just saw the beams get shielded. Let's go ahead and bait, and yeah. All right, I see how it is. I see how it is. Y'all don't want me to have fun today. They're going to go ahead and just no shield the 2 Rock Slides, and in hindsight, it makes a lot of sense. In hindsight, it makes a lot of sense because I have this Electrode that they're not going to waterfall down. And if they shield there, then I just double up on Wild Charges and I destroy with my Electrode. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense, but I don't like it still. Anyways, they have to throw energy into my Electrode. They come back in with the Milotic, and this is why we have Thunder Punch. Milotic's only going to make 1 move since Surf is now more expensive. It's not straight 5s to the Surf. I believe it's straight 6. I could be wrong. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. And we can just counter down the Alomomola. So that's GG's. Well played. All right, into the next one. Scrafty, another horrible lead. Like, I was not really winning leads very often with this team, but it's still put in a ton of work somehow. I don't know. Maybe maybe the team's all right, huh? Anyways, this is not something we can just Wild Charge, right? Because Scrafty is very bulky. Wild Charge is not going to one-shot. I throw up the shield expecting the foul play, and we get Acid Sprayed, and I'm just like, come on, man. Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. Still, Electrode is so fast that we're going to be able to make it to the back-to-back Wild Charges here. The counter does not KO, so we're going to be able to get both of them off, and we're going to be able to get Switch Advantage while being at shield parity. Now, Electrode's not healthy enough here to pivot out. We're not ever going to make another Wild Charge into anything. So I'm going to go ahead and let them get the farm down. It's going to be a Lickilicky and a Clefable. So thank goodness that I won Switch here. Going to be firing off the Rock Slide immediately here into the Clefable. And if they have Meter Beam, this is still not great. Honestly, I have to call a bait to win this. And we do. Because I think they could have gone straight Moonblast and connected with one. I don't know that it would have one-shot from that range. I think I still would have made another Rock Slide. So I felt pretty confident that no shielding there was my best play. We do pull the second shield there with the next Rock Slide. But at this point, they're in counter down range. We'll take a bunch of double super effective Fairy Winds, but at the end of the day, this Lickilicky just can't get through this Scrafty. And they actually pivot out immediately, which I personally think is the wrong play. Like, I think you want to get that Fairy Wind damage in, because now I'm going to be able to just double up on charge moves and make sure I never take those Fairy Winds. In fact, I'm even going to go for the cheaper move here, Thunder Punch, to ensure that my Scrafty is leaving with a second move. And yeah, there it is. We get the perfect counter down. Thunder Punch ready to go. And that's GG's. Well played. All right, I really enjoyed these last two battles. I hope y'all do too. Blaziken on the lead. This is finally a good lead matchup. They swap in. I see the water typing, and I swap, expecting Milotic, Alomomola. Yeah, I fell for the trap. I did. I'm not gonna lie. I go for the Swift Bait, and they call it. I'm in shambles at this point. I'm just like, well, GG's, I suppose. I have to keep that Blaziken on my Solrock. There's no winning if I don't. So I am going to go ahead and go for another Swift here. That's going to pull the first shield. I'm going to invest my second shield here. Now, Blaziken's very, very glassy. I'm thinking that they're going to want to save a shield for it. So I am going to go ahead and full send the Wild Charge here, knowing I'm not going to make another charge move anyways. And it does connect, takes out the Seeking, and they only get 2 counters worth of energy on their Blaziken. In the back, they're going to have Milotic. Now, if I was impulsive, I swap immediately and we lose the game. But I noticed it was Milotic. I know that these Dragon Tails are going to be only hitting for neutral. It's not going to be the waterfalls. And now I stop tapping here. I don't want to take out this Milotic and give that Blaziken a ton of farm. Stop tapping. Wait for the charge move to come through. There's the Blizzard. Nearly takes us out. I wait one more turn to ensure we get the simultaneous KO. And out comes the Blaziken. At this point, we could just go ahead and throw this first Rock Slide to grab the first shield. And I am just hoping that Blaziken is as glassy as I remember it. Hopefully this Rock Slide does take out. It does only hit for neutral. And we actually need one more Sidewave, but that's perfectly fine. And that's going to be GG's. Well played by my opponent. We're able to claw our way back from the dead, honestly. All right, into the final one. Ariados lead. We've seen this before. We know we do not win any even shields here. Well, we probably do win the zeros, to be honest, right? Because Rock Slide's going to actually take them out and Lunge is not going to take us out. But they're going to pivot out. They're going to bring out a Lickilicky, which, well, you know, poison in the lead, normal in the back. I've seen this formula. Scrafty's very happy to come eat. We're going to farm off a little bit extra energy on the Solrock, of course, before coming in Scrafty. And we're just going to tank all these body slams while farming up extra energy. Now, I play this Lickilicky matchup a bit different. Why? Because they have an Ariados that's going to be double resisting my counters. I want my Scrafty to be very low. I do not want to give them a big poison sting down. So I am going to throw on CMP. They were on their 2 cycle there. They actually invest the shield. I'm a little bit curious about it. I don't have to shield here, but Electro doesn't really love to be on the Ariados, so I do go ahead and invest the shield. Gonna go for the foul play now into this Ariados. If they shield, I have a Rock Slide ready. If they don't shield, I can go for the Sidewave Snipe. We almost get it. They swap out into the Milotic. I quickly throw this Solar Beam, hoping they don't know that I saw the Milotic. And, well, I don't know, maybe we don't see any beams this video, or maybe we do, because you know what, Solrock is an absolute beast, able to get to the next Solar Beam, take out the Milotic, and farm down the Ariados. We don't even have to show the Electrode in this battle, and that's going to be GG's. Well played to my opponent. Yeah, I was hyped in the day on that battle. I was like, heck yeah. Heck yeah. So yeah, 2-4-1 sets, plus an additional win in another set. I do highly recommend this team. It's a lot of fun to play and really good into this meta, especially as long as people are still safe swapping their Lickilickys, which I don't really see that going away anytime soon. So yeah, try the team out. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you leave a like. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to my channel members for your support. And until next time, this is ChillisFM reminding you to always keep pushing forward.